Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the first landing on the moon, I can't think of any other better way to pay homage through a deck review than by taking a look at the Les Melies playing cards from Pure Imagination Projects and Derek McKee. So, what is the inspiration behind this deck? Well, very fittingly, like I said, on this anniversary, it is inspired by a French film from 1902 called Les Voyages dans la Lune. I think I'm pronouncing that right, which means A Trip to the Moon in English. This film from 1902 is by French director and magician George Melies and chronicles a set of explorers who travel to the moon, encounter some aliens there, and ultimately bring one back. That's kind of the really quick version of what the story is. But the movie is significant for a lot of different reasons. Now, it's relatively short by today's standards. I think it's about a 10-minute film. In black and white as a silent film, but for its time, it had some just really revolutionary special effects. It's regarded as the first science fiction film ever, and it is the first time on film that there was ever an alien encounter. So a lot of really interesting and historic things about it. It's influenced filmmakers, since then, been incredibly influential in film. And actually, in modern days, if you're a fan of Smashing Pumpkins, one of their most famous songs is called Tonight Tonight. The music video for that, which I highly recommend, it's a great song, but the music video for that, the style is almost entirely inspired by A Trip to the Moon, by the same style as the film Trip to the Moon. So a couple interesting kind of factoids about the inspiration behind this deck, but let's see how it came to life here in these cards. So starting with the tuck case. The exterior here is just a smooth, glossy finish tuck case. On this one, the blue edition of the tuck case. So there are a number of different editions that are done slightly differently, going all the way back to 2013, but this one is the blue one. So you just have this, I don't know, I'll call it kind of a lighter blue color of the background of the tuck case with white writing over it. It says Les Melies there at the top in this sort of fancy font here. You have scroll and leaf work going all the way around the edges to form this border. And then you have a picture of a hand-drawn picture of the moon with a rocket in the eye. So this comes straight out of the film. One of the most iconic and enduring images from the film is this of the man in the moon with a rocket jammed into his eye there. So one of the most famous ones you'll find from there. So that is the front of the tuck case. Sides here, one side says A Trip to the Moon, obviously the name of the movie, and the other side has the name in French, Les Voyages dans la Lune. And then on the bottom, you have a little bit of ad copy for Pure Imagination Projects, Derek McKee, as well as the illustrators, Logan Max and Michael Blau. On the back here, so in the middle here, you have the back design of the card. That is this box here. And then underneath, you have just a little bit of copy indicating that the deck is based on George Melies and his Les Voyages dans la Lune movie. So that is it. Top, it says made in the USA. So these are a USPCC deck. Gives you a preview of how they're going to handle. And then on the interior here, you have a repeat of that man with the rocket in his eye. And then there are your interior flaps, just plain blue, nothing printed on the inside. There's the tuck case. Let's look at the cards. So first off, the back design of the cards, the best part of the entire deck. Just a really beautiful back design, covered with little bits and pieces that are nods to the film. So a few that I've noticed to call out, obviously you've got the man in the moon with the rocket in his eye there, featured on both sides. You have these stars, which appear in the film, as well as right here on the two sides, you've got the aliens there. So there's a close-up of the aliens from the film. They are kind of insect-based aliens with crab claws for hands, and they're holding spears. So they appear very prominently in the film. Tons of flourishes and leaf work going through the top, as well as these clouds coming through through the center line here. Just really beautifully done. The blue background that you see here is actually a slightly metallic ink. You can kind of see that sheen if I give it a little bit of a tilt there. Just a really nice high-end touch. I think sometimes metallic inks can be overdone and be overbearing on a card, but I think this is really, really well done. It is a highly subtly one-way back design. Only thing that I could find that made it one way is actually these stars here. So just to call out one, for example, you'll see right here, there's a star right dead center. but if I flip it over, no such star on this side. So the orientation of the stars is slightly different from one side to another. Nothing to make it too distracting. I prefer one-way or two-way back designs, but nothing. This one makes it too offensive to me. Some versions of this are a marked reader deck. I don't believe that this blue version is. I've taken a look really closely, don't think that it is, but there are some markings on other versions of the deck if you have one of those. So that is the back design of the cards. What about extra cards you get? Well, you do get 2 jokers. They both feature this back-to-back aliens standing here, so you can get a better look of those aliens themselves, standing kind of as sentries or as guards with their spears in hand. And then it says Joker, Joker in the 2 corners. They're almost identical. One of them has a larger image. The other one has a smaller image to make space for a little bit of copy here at the bottom for Pure Imagination Projects in Las Vegas. I wish they kind of kept the Jokers identical, but not a huge deal. Really like the artwork on that. Really think it's very nice. So those are the 2 Jokers. You do get 2 gaff cards as well. You get a blank face card and a double backer. Nice to get those. The cards themselves. So for the most part, first going with the style, for the most part, they are completely standard. As I flipped through this, you can see pretty much everything is just a standard deck. So I'm not going to go card by card the way I normally do, but I will call out the 2 cards that are different. So first off is the Ace of Spades. You do get a custom one of those. It says Les Melies at the top. Has the spade pip in kind of a vintage hand-drawn style. Features, again, a couple more images from the film itself. You have Saturn there in the background, you can see with the rings. And then framed in front of Saturn, you have right here Phoebe, the moon goddess, holding up a star and sitting on a crescent moon. So both Saturn and Phoebe seated in her crescent moon swing, both of those appear in the film as well. Bottom here says Eclipse Edition, Pure Imagination Project, and then pretty standard pips and daisies in the corner. The only other card that is different within this one is the Queen of Spades. Looks fairly standard, but you do have a card and calls it like the 2 hearts or just a hearts reveal there in her hand. So something interesting that you can use for magic. Now, you may have noticed that these cards are not in what you would think of as new deck order. That is significant as well. So this is exactly the order that you get out of the box. So what is this order? Well, this is an offset reverse mnemonica stack. Mnemonica stack is a really famous standard way of stacking the cards that you can memorize. A lot of decks will use this and kind of do some variation of the mnemonica stack as an interesting way right out of the box to know the order of the cards. This one is slightly offset, so what you need to do is you go to the 4 of clubs there, cut that to the back, and you are now in perfect reverse mnemonica stack order. So that is the ordering of the cards. Also significant, you may have noticed as I flip by, there is 1 card that is turned over. Don't know exactly why this is turned over. It's the 7 of hearts. Don't know what the significance of that card is. But certainly knowing that the minute you open the tuck case that 1 card is going to be turned over, I think is something you can use as an interesting reveal if you wanted to use this for a magic trick. Kind of unwrapping the box and immediately having the 7 of hearts flipped over. So that is the cards themselves. Everything else is going to be pretty standard to a regular bicycle deck. As far as handling, it's a USBCC deck, kind of on a little bit of a thinner stock. So it's going to handle just really beautifully. It's going to fan beautifully, cut really, really nicely. So no complaints whatsoever about the handling itself. I think you'll like how these handle. What is the deck kind of good for? What would you use this deck for? Well, I'm gonna argue you use this for pretty much anything. I mean, for magic, between having those gaff cards and the couple little touches and how they ordered the cards right out of the tuck case, I think they really had the magician in mind, which is very fitting because George Melies, who inspired the deck, was himself a card magician. For gameplay, look, the standard faces there really make this great for gameplay while still having a really elegant back design that'll provide some interest. So you can absolutely use this for gameplay. And then for cardistry, they handle really, really nicely. It's not a design that was made for quote unquote cardistry, but certainly something you could use for cardistry with no problems whatsoever. And then just as an art deck, of course. Look, the art on this thing is absolutely beautiful. It's iconic. It's a significant bit of artwork. So you could definitely view this as an art deck as well. So that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed. I definitely recommend checking this out. I'll put a few links down in the bottom if you want to learn more about the film, A Trip to the Moon. If you want to actually watch the film, I'll put a link to where you can watch that on YouTube. And if you want to purchase a deck, so these recently popped up with a very good sale on playingcarddex.com. So I will put a link to where you can pick up a deck of your own. That's it for the Les Melies playing cards. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, other decks you want to see. Don't forget to go to my last video on King's Wild Tigers if you want to enter the giveaway to try to win a King's Wild Tigers deck. Subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings, and I will see you for the next one.